I've recognised that I am the absolute controlling person in our relationship and have been for a very long time. And over the last probably 5 or 6 years, recognise that that is a barrier to connection and my feeling like I'm not being supported and held. So have tried to make room for him to step into and share responsibility and take the lead on particular aspects of our life. And then he doesn't do it. So that's possibly one of the ways forward, because, yeah, when I think about, or when I have tried that approach, it changes for a very small amount of time and then the old pattern comes back. And it feels like if I actually hand over control or ask him to fully step into that our life would fall apart because fuck all would get done. So what are the strategies? Is it just the open expression and the vulnerability about how fucked up it is and how, from my perspective, unsupported I feel, or is there another way to change that dynamic when you've sort of gone around the cycle a few times?
I think we'll both probably respond to this, because I imagine we both have complementary and slightly different things to say. First of all, I would say to examine the relationship for anywhere that there's any power play or conditional aspect around sex and love and affection. So going back to some of what we shared earlier. Then if you feel yourself, and I've actually made this commitment to myself a number of times, when control or power play becomes obvious in my body and my psyche, to actually name it up to the person. So to be vulnerable and transparent, to say, I can see how I'm trying to control things in this way. And by naming it up, it actually helps me to realign to a new way of being. And then the expression of raw feelings, that type of vulnerability, in some ways it's one of the hardest places for us to go as women, because we've grown up in this time where there's value in having a poker face, like I've got it all worked out, I'm okay, I don't need anything. But that poker face denies us from having everything that we most deeply long for. And so going to our raw feelings is actually one of the hardest things to do. I know I will resist it. I watch women in our workshops and retreats resist it. And it is the most powerful thing of all. And in actual fact, the example that Rod shared before of the woman who let her partner know that she wanted for him to take over the financial security, that particular woman, I remember her really struggling, really resisting this idea of expressing through feelings. And yet in the course of the 3-day retreat, she went there and started expressing her feelings. By the end of the retreat, she was like shining and beaming and so radiant. So something shifted at her core through her getting really comfortable with her raw expression of feelings. So even when she walked in the door at home, her partner immediately knew that something had changed. And so a man's sensitivity means that he's super, super aware of changes in us. When we go to new places of vulnerability and new places of receptivity, it registers in a man's body, like something in his psyche goes, oh, there's change here. And in that way, the man's body and the man's psyche, it's a little bit like an erection. There's that sense of, I'm standing to attention. What do you want? Where do I go? And so if you want a man to be more responsive, feelings, and also offer your sensuality. Like walk into a room going, hey, baby, I want to talk to you about something. And then he's like, yeah, I'm here. And it's like, I know some people get nervous and go, oh, that feels like manipulation. But it's not manipulation. There's just this sense of like, I'm here. And then he can be like, yeah, I'm here too. because he will respond much more to my open body than he does to my contracted body.
Yeah, I don't want to send you spiraling into overwhelm. That's a lot of information from two sources, and yes, that practice would be very good. Is he aware that this is something that you want to create?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it something he's willing to participate in as well?
Possibly not.
Yeah. Okay, so that could be the sticking point. So it's
yeah, it feels like for me, I've been sort of on that personal growth journey for quite a while, recognise that there's issues in a relationship, but if I wanted it to be different, I needed to show up differently. So I've started my path, but he's still there.
Yeah.
And he's resisting.
Yeah.
Has moved, but at a snail's pace.
Yeah.
And still, and so the constant challenge for me is to not make him wrong and keep holding the possibility of something different, but him only stepping in a little bit.
Yeah. It sounds like you've got a lot of awareness around it already, and that's a beautiful thing. And be gentle with yourself and allow him the space to feel what that feels like. Let him see you shifting, changing, being a different woman. Let him see that you feel different as you walk down the street.
That's the bit that freaks him out. He doesn't want me to be different.
Yeah, you're right. But he'll notice that men are noticing you more. He'll notice that something's going on. At some point, he'll have to, if I don't get off my fat, lazy ass and do something, she's gone. And that will be his inspiration. So allow yourself your journey. Allow him the space to journey his feelings so that he steps into it with you. And just keep allowing yourself to expand, dropping back into your body. Feel like allow your process to go. Don't allow it to hold back. And if you find yourself waiting for him, the chances are if you're waiting, you're holding back your love, holding back your feelings. So, and if you are feeling pain, you are feeling hurt, allow that to come out. Allow yourself the space to express how you feel, to show up in that relationship. Be the woman that you want to be, and then allow him to see if he's the man that can be with that woman.